All right, says I'm live. If you guys can hear me, please let me know when we will get this started. I will pop the chat out. And looking forward to a fun race today. Well, I say today, but it's probably going to end up being tomorrow. The Nashville weather does not look too promising today, so we will see what happens. But I will pop the chat out and we can get talking here. Thank you for everybody stopping by. I think we had around 60 people waiting, so I do appreciate you hanging out with me on a Sunday afternoon. The race is scheduled for, I think, green flag 5:23 today. But like I said, and you probably heard on Twitter or wherever you're watching, there is rain in the forecast today. It does not look too pretty. I'm expecting a Monday race, and I'd actually prefer a Monday race because we practice under hotter conditions. And if it's going to race tonight, that could throw some wrenches in the projections today. So looking forward to today. I'll let you guys let me know if you can hear me, and we'll get this started. But should be a fun one. Lots of good ways to go. Outside of Kyle Busch up top as far as the upper price drivers this weekend, it is pretty spread out. I think you can make a case for just about all of these guys. So should be a fun one. What's up, Andre? Oh, and also, I don't know, I actually ran a poll earlier. Hopefully that's not like on the screen the entire time. But yeah, looking forward to it. What's up, Andre? Good afternoon. Nice to see you. It should be a fun one today. I'm just hoping that if it does get postponed or at least delayed, that DraftKings keeps pushing back lock, because I hate when we have a locked race and we can't change our lineups overnight. It just sucks looking at everything. So I'm hoping we can just keep making lineups until tomorrow. Maybe we'll open up some other contests. I believe they did that last year with Bristol Dirt. What's up, Cameron? Good afternoon, Chris. Anyone know what time the race starts tomorrow? Yeah, looking like that's what's going to be the case. If it is tomorrow, we usually do an afternoon start time, like 12 or 1 o'clock. So we'll see what happens. Not 100% sure yet, but we're going to have to wait and see. Never know. Maybe Mother Nature cuts us a break and we end up getting a race in today. But I don't want a rain-shortened race. I don't want anything broken up. I would rather just have a full race. So I'm personally, for me, I'm hoping for a Monday race. What's up, brother Chris? Sorry, I've been super busy with work, but don't fly out till tomorrow, so hoping to catch this race at home. Awesome. Hopefully, well, you're definitely not hoping for rain today because then you won't be able to watch. But yeah, it should be a fun one. I'm hoping it's not like a super exciting race because I'm just tired of the wrecks. I'm tired of the blown tires. I just want a nice normal race where not a lot of things happen and drivers that are fast end up being fast and they don't get screwed during the race. So that's my hopes for today. I would be fine with a boring race as long as I got the guy up front. K Diddy says, hey Chris, what channel is NASCAR on? I know what you're referencing, but what is it? What's it called? USA or something? USA, NBC, whatever it is. I'm going to miss the Fox crew. I like Clint and the boys. It's fun. But I know a lot of people don't like the coverage from NASCAR. I get it. But I do like the personalities that they have. And I still have to build lineups. I was planning on crunching during the show and after. Not 100% sure where I'm going yet. I think as far as cash games are concerned, there's 3 guys you're 100% playing with Kyle Busch, Bubba Wallace, and Denny Hamlin. After that, there's a couple ways you can go. I have a feeling which way most people will go, but we'll talk about it. What's up, Rick? Hello, Race fam. Yeah, what's up? What's up? Should be a fun one today. Looking forward to it. Jesus says, how much is too much Kyle Busch today? Is he 100% lock? I wouldn't say he's 100%. I am not playing 100% Kyle Busch today, but he's going to be my highest owned driver. I think he comes in close to 60% ownership today as far as the big tournaments go. If you're playing single entries, cash games, 3 max, whatever it is, he'll be higher owned than that. So it's something to keep in mind, but I would not 100% lock him. Because there's the chance where, let's say Chase Elliott gets up front, leads half the race, Ross Chastain leads it fourth, then Hamlin leads it fourth, and Busch maybe stalls out around 10th. He won't be in the optimal. So assuming those guys still finish strong if they all dominate. So there's chances where Kyle Busch won't be optimal, but I mean, I think there's like a 60 to 70% chance that we see Kyle Busch in the optimal today. Like, I'm going to have a large chunk of him. I'm tempted to lock him in my 3 max. I always play a 3 max, and I'm tempted to do it. I'm at least going to do 2 out of 3, but there's a chance I might go 3 out of 3. The problem is I like to differentiate a little bit, and it's hard to do just that if you do the lock button there. But if you were playing a lot of lineups, I wouldn't 100% lock him, but I don't think it's the worst thing to do if you were going to lock Kyle Busch today. Like, it's a very strong chance he's going to put up 70 plus points, or at least close to 70, and probably knocking on the door to be optimal today. That is for certain. Josh says, DK Cash, Kyle Busch, Chastain, Hamlin, Bubba Wallace, McDowell, and Ty Dillon. Thank you. I think that's fine. I don't personally see myself going with Michael McDowell today in cash games, but I like the other drivers you mentioned. I love Busch. I love Chastain. I love Hamlin. I love Bubba. Ty Dillon's kind of just there as your throw-in. I think there's two routes to go today in cash games. You're either going with the 3 top dog approach, which is going to be the Kyle Busch, Ross Chastain, Denny Hamlin combination, or you're just going to go Kyle Busch, Denny Hamlin, and go mid-range with drivers like Chase Briscoe, Eric Jones, Ricky Stenhouse. So I think there's 2 ways you can go. I'm not sure which route I want to go yet. I'm kind of leaning on the 3 dogs up top because I love Ross Chastain today, and I'd feel kind of weird without him in my main lineup. So we'll see what happens there. But I think there's 2 routes you go for cash today. You just have to go with which one's more comfortable for you. What's up, Anthony? Hello. Rick says loud and clear. Awesome. Probably should have read that before I started talking forever. What's up, Natalie? Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. Nice to see you. Also, yes, if you have not yet joined the DraftKings contest, I will check Twitter here. I had the link, but I think it is almost full. I think it was 130 out of 150. Okay, so there is 16 spots left in the YouTube contest. So if you haven't yet already, go to my Twitter. It's at Chris Pennell 16. It's somewhere on the screen, and it's my most recent tweet or second most recent tweet. Hit the link, join. More people to join, the bigger the prize is. Get a shout out on the channel, and just fun to compete. So, 16 more spots. So if you could fill that up, would appreciate it. But we have a long time until lock, so I think we'll be fine there. Clayton says, "Pray the rain away." Yeah, a lot of rain coming. Not looking too pretty. I was looking at the Weather Channel radar. Obviously, it's not going to be 100% accurate, but not looking good. It looks like rain was going to come in around 2 to 3 p.m. Eastern, and then it doesn't look like it goes away until very late tonight. So we'll see. Maybe we'll get a break here and there, but I'm not sure it'll be enough. And obviously, later in the day it's going to take longer to dry the track because it's going to be cooler. I know yesterday it was super hot, which, but not looking too promising. What's up, Mike? Good afternoon, Chris and the Racing Fam. What's up, Mike? Hopefully you have a good race today or tomorrow, whenever it's going to happen. I think I already read that. Yes says 100% Bubba and 100% Kyle Busch. Thoughts? I guess my question to you would be is how many lineups are you building? Like if you're building 150, I think that's maybe a bit much. If you're doing 20 lineups, I guess that's fine because I like to have a tighter core. If you're playing 3 max, that's fine too. I'm tempted to go 100% Bubba and Kyle Busch and my 3 max. I know it's chalky, but I can get different elsewhere. So it's like instead of playing a Chastain with Kyle Busch or Denny Hamlin, I could pivot to a Truricks or a Chase Elliott. So that's something to think about. You don't want too chalky of a lineup. Andre says, I just hope it's not part of the race today and the rest tomorrow, all today or all tomorrow, please. Yeah, that's definitely this. I have the same thought process there. I hate when it does that, especially if we have locked lineups the entire night. Just brutal. I want to be able to, change my lineups. And one thing I'm thinking, I feel like FanDuel won't push back their lock. So I'm hoping FanDuel locks, I can check the ownership over there, and then I can use it to my advantage over on DraftKings to maybe compare ownership and then kind of build like that. Because if I think a guy comes in lower owned than what I've expected on FanDuel, you might see the same over on DraftKings. Not 100% science there, but just something I'm kind of hoping to play around with if that happens to be the case. Chris says, thoughts on this for cash? Head-to-head lineup, Kyle Busch, Chastain, Bowman, Briscoe, Wallace, and Gillen. Pretty solid lineup. I don't personally see myself going with Bowman today in cash games, but overall it's a pretty solid lineup. I love Busch, I love Chastain. I just feel like you're going to want Hamlin in cash. He might not be your favorite play, but I do think he's going to be very high in cash, and if he takes off for stage 1, he'll be hurting. Lee says, hey, Chris, for cash, Chastain and McDowell are Kurt Busch and Briscoe? Ew. Well, not a huge fan of McDowell there. If you said like Chastain with like a Ty Dillon or Burton or Gillen, I'd feel better about that. So I'm just going to pretend you said one of those guys instead, and I'll go with the Chastain route. What's up, Aaron? Good morning, everyone. How about Suarez last week? Yeah, that was awesome. It was definitely a good week to be overweight on Suarez. He helped me ship first place over on FanDuel last weekend, so I'll be forever grateful from the lawnmower man. He has came a long way. We used to make fun of him every single week during COVID, and now he's good. Nice to see. Tough spot this week though, starting in 5th. I can't see him dominating, and he's probably gonna lose some spots. Not a huge fan of Dan Suarez this week. It was last week, but I think it's time to jump off this time. Sam, your message got retracted, so if you didn't mean to do that, you can send it again. Chris says, haha, definitely not doing the rain dance, that's for sure. P.S. Yes, the tires this year are horrid. Yeah, tires have been rough this year. They have ruined many great lineups of mine. Chase Briscoe, I'm sure probably you guys don't remember that, but Chase Briscoe's tire blowing in first place was not fun. Which track was that at? Gateway? I think it was Gateway, yeah. Yep. That was not a good time. Not a good time at all. Hopefully it does not happen. Aaron says, any news on Clint Boyer? If you mean what happened with the incident, yeah, I've not seen anything since. Obviously, we don't have the Fox broadcast anymore, so puts him out of the spotlight even more, I guess. But yeah, very unfortunate what happened for Clint. If you're wondering why you missed the last broadcast, you can look that up, but not a good situation. So my mom's here. Good afternoon, bud. Hopefully a happy race day. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Definitely a lot of weather on the forecast today. But go Logano whenever they race. Good luck, everyone. Appreciate it. Although, I gotta say, not a fan of Logano today. I'm hoping your favorite driver doesn't do too well. I'm hoping Hamlin kind of sets sail there. Robert says, top 3 tourney plays. Feels like a tourney day. So up top, I'm looking at Chase Elliott and Martin Truex Jr. the most as pivots. I think Chase Elliott on a concrete surface is going to be pretty good for him. I know he wasn't super impressive in practice, but he obviously won at Dover, and I think this is going to set up well for him. I'm hoping he goes a bit under-owned. I think Kyle Busch, Chastain, Hamlin, and Larson will have a little bit more ownership. I think Elliott and Larson will be close, but I think Elliott's a pretty good pivot up top. I also love Martin Truex Jr. I currently have him coming in like just under 20% ownership. And I feel like this is a pretty good week for him. He profiles really well at the similar track types. He's got a good pit team. And I believe he's 3rd in average running position at similar tracks so far this year. And he had the most fast laps at Dover early in the season. And he's good at flat tracks. So this profile is pretty well for him. I know a lot of people don't want to really play Truex. He's burned us many times this year. But starting in 10th, I think he's a good pivot. Like, I'm going to have more Truex exposure than I'm going to have Byron personally just because of ownership. I'll have both, obviously. But if Truex is going to be lower owned, I'd rather get to him. Just try to get some leverage. But both guys are pretty fast in practice. Sarugi says, what are you thinking for FanDuel? Any must plays for cash or GPPs? I have not yet crunched over there. I can pull up, well, I did a dummy crunch earlier. I can try to pull that back up. But I think I was obviously getting a lot of Kyle Busch. Chase Briscoe was popping quite a bit over there. Obviously different scoring than DraftKings, so it looks a little bit different, but let me try to pull up the FanDuel crunch. So let's see. Let me just do a quick 150 with the projections here. So tons of Kyle Busch, tons of Bubba Wallace, tons of Eric Jones, a lot of William Byron. Getting more Byron on FanDuel than I am on DraftKings currently. A decent amount of Hamlin, decent amount of Chastain. It's all pretty much the same drivers, although it's going to fluctuate a little bit based off pricing and different scoring. Like, getting more Byron on FanDuel than I am on DraftKings and getting less Hamlin than I am on DraftKings. So, yeah, I'm going to play around with that a little bit. But I'm going to bump my Chase Elliott up. That's not going to be enough. But, yeah, Kyle Busch on FanDuel. Where downer points don't really matter too much. It's almost on a lock button him over there. See the lovely girlfriend Julian is here. Good luck. Hope they race today. I don't really hope they race today because I feel like if they race today, we're going to get a shortened race or it's going to be all broken up and it's going to be annoying. So I'm with Andre. I'm hoping it's just all in today or all in tomorrow. We'll see what happens. Cameron says, can I get your opinion on the best optimizer to use for building lineups? I just use my own. It's got my ownership projections and my own projections in there. So it's about as easy as it gets. Has all the settings, build rules, 150, whatever you want to do, grouping. So, being biased probably, but I just use mine because it's got all my stuff on there. But I have to use Osmo Fantasy Cruncher for FanDuel because I don't have my optimizer set for FanDuel. Let's see. SS Jackson says, hey CP at the bottom, How much LaJoy, Haley, and McDowell will be playing, assuming that Dillon and Gillen will be the chalk? Yeah, so I have, all those guys are very similar in my ownership. I have, I think, like 10 to 15% on Ty Dillon, Burton. I might get closer to 18 to 20% on Gillen just because of the starting spot. And I'm trying to be overweight on Justin Haley. I think he's going to come in around 7 to 8% ownership. I'm going to try to get to close to double of that, maybe 14 to 16%. McDowell, I'm not getting a lot of, though. But all those guys are pretty much sitting around 10 to 15% for me. I don't think there's much differentiating them. And I feel like they're going to be all pretty similarly owned for the most part. So just kind of mixing and matching those guys, really. I don't have a strong stance on any of them. I just hope they don't wreck or go like many laps down. Chris says Bell or Reddick and Cash. I'd probably have to go with Reddick just because the 7th spot's further back. I feel like they could finish pretty similar. Jim says, hi Chris, thoughts on Reddick or... It's funny, you got the same question back to back. Well, personally for me, I feel like I might end up with more Reddick. I'm going to check the sim scores here and see who popped more. So we had Christopher Bell at... Okay, so the simulation scores, Manhunter in the Discord runs them for me, puts the projections in. 16% optimal for Christopher Bell and 15% optimal for Tyler Reddick. So we're talking like a difference of 1%. We're splitting hairs there, basically. So I think they're kind of the same play. I feel like Reddick could pick up some more ownership just because of the extra spots further back. But for me, I feel like I'd rather be overweight on Bell as far as the ownership is concerned. I like the Toyotas quite a bit today. And Tyler Reddick likes to screw me a lot. Like, he'll run very well, and there's just something bad happens to him every time. And Bell has been very consistent at these track types. He actually has the best average finish of all drivers. Lee says, for Cash, Chastain and McDowell are Kurt Busch and Briscoe. I'd go with the Chastain and McDowell route, but personally for me, I'd play like a Gillen or Ty Dillon or Harrison Burton over McDowell, I think. For cash purposes, anyway. Robert Kuzi says, can you fade Hamlin in Cash if you go Chastain and Busch? I wouldn't fade Hamlin in Cash. You don't want to fade Chalk in Cash. In tournaments, sure, you can fade Hamlin. I don't care. But if you're playing cash games, I would try to get Denny in there, because if he sets sail for the majority of the first stage and he doesn't crash, you're going to be really hurting in cash if a guy like Chastain can't get up to the front. I mean, you can play all three, obviously, too, though. But I think you'd want Hamlin in cash, because even if Hamlin sucks, he's going to be very high owned where it's not going to hurt you. Mike says, I'm running 15 lineups and I have Kyle Busch in 9 of them. Yeah, that's fine. I think like 9 to 12 would be fine if you're building 15 lineups. Then you like Kyle Busch. No problem with that. Jesus says, thoughts on Briscoe and Bubba. Also, Cindric and single entry, playing them together. Briscoe is a fine play. I'm not in love with the Fords today. He's starting 28th, though. I'd have a hard time seeing him not gain spots. Should contend for a top 20. Bubba, pretty much a lock today. He had literally the best car in practice. First or second, and pretty much everything won the 5, 10, 15, whatever it is, you name it. He was really fast. Also, MJ's at the track, so you have that narrative built in there. As far as Cindric goes, I don't like Cindric today. He was awful in practice. The Fords just don't look strong whatsoever. I believe, pull up his practice speeds here. So, yeah, 27th in the 5 lap, 24th in the 10, and then 17th in the 15, which I think only 20 drivers are in 15 laps. Like, he was really slow. So I'm not a fan of Cindric today. Dustin says, top 2 turning plays. Up top, I mean, for me, the pivots are going to be Chase Elliott, Martin Truex. Both guys are really good at Dover. Both ran well at Dover earlier in the season. Truex is good at flatter track, so is Chase Elliott. I think they're both maybe going a little bit overlooked today. I think Chase Elliott would definitely have ownership just because he's Chase Elliott, but again, you got to keep in mind all these 10K guys and above are going to be popular as well, so not everybody can be high owned. I think Elliott's a nice pivot in the 5-figure range, and then I like Truex quite a bit. Wayne says, this is a tough lineup to get dominators in with Kyle Busch. Will we have a lot of duplicate lineups? Thinking so. Yeah, I think for the most part, everyone's going to be building 4-man lineups, because what are you going to do first? You're going to throw in Kyle Busch, and you're going to throw in Bubba Wallace. After that, that's when you start building for the most part. So there will be some duplicates. Would I be surprised if Kyle Busch and Bubba Wallace are optimal today? No. But you're going to have to try to find some low-run plays if you don't want to get duped. So instead of pairing Hamlin with those 2 guys, That's where you can pivot to guys like Martin Truricks Jr. You can pivot to Elliott. And instead of playing like a Jones or a Stenhouse, you could pivot to an Almirola. And instead of a like a Keselowski, you could go to like a Custer or something like that. So you can play chalk. Just find ways to get different with it as well. EJ says, who are you liking for a punt play? Gillen maybe? Yeah, I like Gillen quite a bit. I would say he's probably my favorite punt, but all these guys are pretty slow. Like Ty Dillon was 25th in the 5 lap. Harrison Burton was 30th in the 5 lap. Gillen was 31st. So Joyce showed some speed though. 15th in the 5, 16th in the 10. I think he's kind of sneaky down low. I don't have over 10% of LaJoie, but I'm getting close to it. I think he has a sneaky pivot down there. But all those guys are fine. Like everybody in the 5K range, if you want to play like 10 to 15% of them, I'd be fine with that. But I do think Haley could be the best of them all as far as once you factor in ownership. Hunter says, what channel is the race on? I know exactly what you're doing. But what is it called? USA or something? Whatever it is. Aaron says, good morning, Chris is better half. Not wrong. You're not wrong. Let's see. Mike says, 15 lineups with Bubba and 12 of them. I drop him just to 10. Yeah, Bubba could be the highest owned driver on the slate. It's either going to be him or Kyle Busch. I think it'll be Busch. I mean, just because if you're hand building, I mean, Kyle Busch is right in front of your face starting at 36. You don't have to scroll down for him. But that's fine. I'm going to be very heavy on both Kyle and Bubba. I mean, they're in such good spots. They're the 2 fastest cars in practice, and they're starting in the very back. So hard not to like them. Outside of like a mechanical issue or a wreck, which, you know, if you're playing, if Bubba doesn't wreck, he's probably going to be optimal, assuming that speed shows up. Like, he can be a top 50 contender most weeks anyway, but I mean, the speed he showed, looking like a really good week for him. I mean, it's not even an issue. Like, I have a hard time seeing Bubba not work. Let's see. Jesus says, Reddick ran the Xfinity yesterday. He did not pass 16 all day. Well, I don't want to put too many comparisons to Xfinity and Cup because, you know, different car, different field. I mean, I won't put too much into it, but although you did note that guys that were good at concrete were pretty good in there as well. So another thing that makes me kind of like Chase. Robert says, Keselowski, Gilly, Rowdy, Hamlin, Chastain, Bubba, or Bubba, Kurt, Rowdy, Chastain, Briscoe, Ty, or Bell, Rowdy, Chastain, Ty, Jones, Bubba. Okay, let's see here. I'm assuming it's a cash game question. So we need Hamlin, we need Bubba, we need Kyle Busch. I would probably go with the first one there. I don't think I'm missing any. I'd probably go with the first one as far as cash is concerned. Josh says, last spot in DK Cash, Burton, Custer, Haley, or Busher. Thank you. For cash games, I would... If it's cash games, I'd probably go Burton there. If it was tournaments, I'd say Haley. But I think Burton's probably the safer option there as far as cash is concerned. Jim says, as a core play, Kyle Busch, Briscoe, Tyler Reddick. Kyle Busch would definitely be my core. Briscoe, Tyler Reddick, they're fine plays. They're not in my core personally, but if you want that to be your core, I wouldn't really talk you off of it. I'll have a decent amount of Briscoe today and Tyler Reddick, but not a part of my core per se. Anthony says, the best value on DK, assuming you mean like just as far as cheap drivers are concerned, I think for an absolute punt, probably Todd Gilliland. I like Justin Haley, though. I think he's a good tournament play today. I wonder who as far as like my overall best value play, as far as my projections are concerned, it's Bubba Wallace. But I was assuming you just meant like a punt play. But Bubba Wallace is definitely my top value today. JJ says, any love for your boy Blaney? Not much this weekend. Like, the Fords are pretty slow overall. He was just about the fastest one in practice, but I don't see a Ford getting up front outside of like over a JGR or a Hendrick or a Chastain today. So I'm gonna be pretty low on the Penske guys in general. So Like, I can't play everybody, and I like a lot of these drivers up top. So Blaney, Logano, they're kind of getting the short end of the stick there. Anthony says single entry. Oh, best value. Well, I mean, overall, it's Bubba Wallace for me. But if you meant pump play, like, it changes a little bit. But Bubba Wallace is definitely my favorite value today. Not even close. SS Jackson says, congrats on your Sonoma week. Mine sucked. Too many Toyotas. Yeah. Thank you. Appreciate it. But yeah, I mean, Toyotas, I was heavy on them too. I just had some lineups that I ended up pulling through. Like, I had a lot of Truex, a lot of Kyle Busch, which at the very end, he showed some promise because he was, what, like 5th place? Then he spun and it just never recovered. Christopher Bell, he went a lap down early on, I remember. And then I forget what happened after that. And then what else happened? Hamlin I didn't have much of. I feel like I'm forgetting something. Oh, Kurt Busch sucked. Yeah, I mean, he was just absolutely awful. He wasn't even good at any point in the race. He was just really bad. Eric Jones, I think he went close to the top 20 at some point. Then he spun. Then he just kept spinning and spinning and spinning throughout the race. I don't know how he got close to a top 20. I'll take it, though. Definitely helped out quite a bit. But, yeah, it was overall, there was a lot of good plays last week that just sucked. But Suarez took me to the victory, to the promised land, so I'll take it. Robert says, last 2 spots, Byron and Stenhouse, or Blaney and Almirola, or Reddick and Briscoe. For that, I would probably go Byron and Stenhouse, just because Byron's got some dumb potential, and that can make up for maybe Stenhouse not being amazing, or something like that. Yes says, I also love Keselowski, and I hate myself for it. Yeah, Kess is, I mean, I'm playing him just because he's cheap and he's starting in the back, but, I mean, practice was not good for him at all, and he did not like his car. 32nd in the 5-lap in practice, 30th in the 10-lap, 19th in the 15. Like, I think he's fine for cash because of his price and where he's starting, but he was rough. It was rough yesterday. Not super excited about it by any means. Just says, do you like the Kurt Busch Cars Pass prop on Prize Picks? Let me check what it is first. I didn't play any Cars Pass props because I didn't like them really, but so we have Kurt at 6.5, which puts him at what, 17 minus 6. Yeah, it's pushing it. I wouldn't personally do it with my own money. I think you're pushing it just a little bit. I think there's better props out there. I like the Ross Chastain over at 46.5 quite a bit. And Chase Elliott's prop actually just went down from 41.5 to 39.5. I wish I didn't get so heavy on the 41.5 prop. 39.5 looks really good. And Truex over 40.5 looks good as well. Just think they're a little bit too low. But yeah, Chase is down to 39.5. I thought that would go up. So I might do some more props just to get exposure to that because that's awesome. Oh. Yes, I was surprised. I'm not sure if Bull is here, but wanted to know if I got a puppy, and I did. So I don't have to get bullied for puppy talk anymore, but his name's Oakley.
You want to say hi?
Okay.
Come here, baby. Say bye. Say bye. All right.
I'm not sure if Bull is here, but I know he's probably the one that would care the most about it. Finally got a puppy, so maybe that'll bring us some good luck this week. Had him for a couple weeks, but trying to keep it a secret. Natalie says, who are your big dominators today? The ones I'm heaviest on, I'll exclude Kyle Busch from the dominator group because he's more of a place differential play. But as far as the doms go, Chastain and Hamlin are my 2 favorite. And then I have a really big chunk of Chase Elliott, Martin Truricks Jr. as well. I'm still playing some Larson. I'm still playing Byron. But I'm not like super exposed to those guys. But I really like Elliott, Chastain, Hamlin, and Truex today. Big Gooder says, what's the deal with the Patreon this week? So usually at the end of the month, if you sign up, I'll just refund it for you so you can get this week for free. Just stay signed up for next month and then you get the free week. So if you want to sign up, you can certainly do that. All the projections over there. Basically, if you don't want to listen to me talk all the time, all the data you'd ever need is right in front of you on the spreadsheet. So I think you'll find it helpful. It's what I use every single week. Puts everything in one spot. Let's see. Joanne says, thanks for the excellent content. As always, Harvick thoughts, crummy practice, decent qualifying, good luck all. Yeah, what's up, Joanne? She commented on my one video, said she was 86, and she does better than a lot of us in the YouTube contest, so I gotta give her props. That's absolutely awesome. Appreciate you stopping by, but as far as Harvick today, I'm not gonna play him. If he burns me, so be it. Sucked in practice, the Fords overall weren't amazing. The Fords got fast once the clouds came out in that round 2 of qualifying, so if you do think we get a race in tonight, that could help them out. So that's something to keep in mind, but for me personally, I just think there's better plays than Harvick. Like starting in 8th, I could see him battling for a top 10 today, but at that point, just give me Reddick starting 16th, give me Bowman starting 12th, give me Kirk, give me Briscoe. So I'm going to be pretty low, maybe full fade on Kevin Harvick today. And if it burns me, oh well, I'll live with it, I guess. Yes says, I've used probably 6 different optimizers, and for the price you get a lot with Chris's. It's worth $35 all day, plus the data you want. It's all in one place. I appreciate it, man. Did the commercial for me. But I agree. Put a lot of time into it, so find it helpful. She says, Bull better show up for the puppy talk. I told him I had a surprise for him yesterday. He's been sick, though, so maybe he's still sleeping. Max says, I already have Kyle Busch and Bubba in the DK single entry lineup. I'm adding Ross. Oh, is adding Ross Chastain as well too chalky? Think about adding Larson instead of Chastain. Yeah, it's going to be chalky, but also you have to keep in mind salary, because if you're putting in Larson with Kyle Busch, you're starting to really get up there, because that's close to $23,000 as far as your price goes. So I feel like Chastain fits in better there. But if you go with Chastain and you already have Bubba and you have Kyle Busch, I would try to avoid playing some of the chalkier, maybe punt options. So maybe bypass a Brad Keselowski, maybe bypass like a Stenhouse or Eric Jones, get in like with an Eric Almirola or Justin Haley down there to get a little bit different. Because that would definitely be a very popular trio today. Aaron says, good morning to the real MVP, Mama Pennell. That's right. It is the real MVP. Albert says, how does Kyle, I'm assuming you mean Busch, Hamlin, Briscoe, Bowman, Bubba, and Ty look in cash games? Bowman's not my favorite cash game play today. If you want to play him, it's fine. I don't think I'm personally going to go that route, though. I mean, starting in 12th, it's just like, yes, I know he's good at the concrete tracks, good at Dover. Starting in 12th, though, it doesn't feel very cashy for me personally. I think he's more of a tournament play today. Let's see. Robert says, any Reddick or Jones left today? I love Jones. I like Jones just about every single week. But starting in 23rd here, $700 or $7,300. Hoping Stenhouse gets a little bit more ownership. But 13th in the 1 lap in practice, 19th in the 10 lap. Obviously not super impressive, but if you're looking at some of the similar track finishes this year, 7th at Gateway, and then 10th at Dover, which I think the concrete will definitely carry over. And obviously he's good at Bristol too. So Jones is definitely the guy I'm planning on being overweight in tournaments today. I'm going to try to get to like around 30-ish% of Eric Jones. Jim says, Chris, sort of lineup, would you go with Hamlin, Chastain, and Byron and go from there? I mean, I wouldn't start my lineups with Byron and all of them. Hamlin, Chastain, I like. I don't dislike Byron or anything, but he's not like a core priority for me today. That makes sense. Neil says, good afternoon, Chris. Hope all is well. It is. Same to you, Neil, as well. Who was the lowest driver salary-wise you would go for in DK? For me, that's Corey LaJoie today. $5,000. Wouldn't go any lower than that because you start getting into the Ware, Balicki, McLeod, Yaley range, which don't really see working out today. So I wouldn't go below LaJoie. Sue says, did Larson win last year in this track? He did. He crushed it. Had like a running position of 1.4. Led 260 some laps, just killed it, 175 DraftKings points. But keep in mind, different car, different package, different scenario. So not really expecting anybody to run away with the race like they did last year. Aaron says, why Logano? She's just a Logano homer every single week. Don't matter the track. Or if you mean my favorite driver, that I'm not sure. Kind of curious to find out, actually. Gina says, I love the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They're now my home team, so I guess they're my new NFC favorite team. So I'll be a Bucs fan. Plus Tom Brady coming back definitely makes that easier. It was going to look a little rough not too long ago when he was retiring, but he's back. Lost Gronk, though, but I'm sure he'd like to come back once they make the playoffs. You're welcome, Anthony. What's up, Milton? Think Kurt will get notes from Bubba's setup? He still has MJ narrative, too? Yeah, I think he's definitely going to get some help. Like, he wasn't very good in practice, but at the same time, when you see every other Toyota really fast and you see your teammate extremely fast, I mean, obviously, I think Kurt's going to get some help. So I think Kurt will be a fine play today. I'm going to try to get close to 20% starting at 19th. $800 is a pretty good price point. So yeah, does have the MJ narrative, but I think we used that up for when he had the Jordan car. So I think it's kind of Bubba's turn this week. Not that he's going to win the race, but I think it's Bubba's turn to have a pretty solid race here. T-Max says Eric Jones or Briscoe in cash. As far as ownership is concerned, I think Briscoe is your better bet there, starting 5 spots further back. But I wouldn't be surprised if Jones outscored Briscoe today. Milton says, I saw Bucks, Brady the GOAT. You Bucks fan too? I guess I'm an honorary Bucks fan now. So if the Browns and the Bucks ever played the Super Bowl, that'd be awesome. I would not be opposed to that. What's up, Tony? Good day. Just checked in to give you a like. Good luck. Appreciate it. Thank you very much. Glad to see you here. Mike says, Chris, when building lineups, do you pay any attention to the total points that could possibly be scored for each lineup? Not really. Like, it's not something I'm too concerned about because I'm just using my projections. I'm building 150. I know it's not going to be anything too stupid down low. So for me personally, that's not something I really look at. I'll look at ownership sometimes. But for me personally, I'm just making sure I have my group set up and I'm checking my exposures each and every single time to make sure I got everything where I want it. Because you got to be careful because sometimes you think you have the perfect lineup spread and then you're like, oh shoot, I only have 3% William Byron. I got to get that fixed, which is what happened to me earlier. I thought I had the perfect lineups, exposure set. And then I was like, well, wait, I don't even see Byron, so I had to fix that. Andre says, puppy. Tim says, hi, doggy. I guess I'm to the dog part. Yes, we did get the doggo. She was very happy. Anthony says, love the tie-dye. What's up, Chris? What's up, Anthony? Great job last week. I killed it. You mean 2 weeks ago? Killed the bye week, that's for sure. But yeah, it was there were some bad guys at Sonoma, but overall it was a fun week, so glad you did well. Who's your non-dominators today? My non-dominators? You mean as far as who I'm playing as a non-dominator? I have a lot of Bub Wallace. I have a lot of Eric Jones. I'm going to get to some Kurt Busch. I'm going to play some Christopher Bell. I mean, outside of that, I don't really like any of this mid-range plays. I'm just kind of mixing and matching and hoping I just get the right combo. But outside of a few guys, I almost hate all these guys. Let's see. Where are we at? Some dog talk. I won't repeat all that. Okay, Neil says Busher or McDowell for GPP. Let me look at my projections here because that's got to be really close. So McDowell I have at 23 points. Busher I got at 27. So I'll go with Busher there. I'll go with Busher. Not two guys I don't have a ton of ownership on, but I think I have around 8 to 10% on both. So Spiritual Galaxy says, is Gilliland a good pump play? Yeah, I mean, he's a fine pump play. Like, out of all the punts, he's probably my favorite. Justin Haley is the guy I'm trying to get overweight on, but as far as like the punts, like in the lower 5K range, Gilliland's the one I have the most exposure to because he's starting 33rd. I believe his average finish is around 22nd or 23rd at similar tracks this year. He's not going to be fast, but if he can just avoid attrition and just not make mistakes, he should kind of limp into a top 25 finish, which you will take at that price point. FV says, hit the likes, folks. Yeah, if you're just not getting here, if you haven't already, hit the like on the stream. It does help me out. Hopefully we can get over 100. Would appreciate it. Also, if you have not joined the DraftKings contest yet, I would highly recommend doing so. I don't think there's a ton of spots left. I can check. So we have 10 spots left in the contest. So either hit the link in the pinned comment in the stream, or you can head over my Twitter, ChrisPennell16, and it will put you in. But I'm going to check Bob's Twitter really quick, see if he mentioned anything. I'm curious if we'll get a competition caution because of the rain. But seeing Bob's Twitter here, not seeing much. He did mention storms. Yeah, the radar does not look pretty, coming right for Nashville. But yeah, he didn't put anything on the the big tweet he does every day, given the times and the sets. So all right, guess we'll see. Competition caution doesn't really change too much for me. I mean, maybe it hurts Hamlin a little bit, but it's nothing I'd really change my exposures about. Dustin says Bell, Chastain, Elliott, Haley, Jones, and Bubba in a GPP. Yeah, I think that's fine for tournaments. I love Bell in tournaments. I like Elliott. I like Haley. I like Jones, Bubba. Yeah, I think it's a really good lineup. And you don't have Kyle Busch in there, so you're getting different just because of not having Kyle Busch or Hamlin. So I think that's totally fine. And you're still playing Bubba. I mean, that's the way you can kind of play chalk and still get different. I mean, you have good chalky piece in there, but you have some pivots down there as well. James says, what is the weather forecast for the race? A lot of rain. A lot of rain forecasted. I was just looking at the radar, and obviously it's not always 100% correct, but it shows rain coming in around 2 p.m. Eastern, or I don't know, maybe it's Central Time, and it doesn't look like it stops until like nighttime. So I don't have my hopes up for a race today. I'm just hoping we get the news beforehand, so DraftKings keeps pushing lock back, and maybe we get tomorrow lock instead of having lineups locked overnight. Let's see. Anthony says, thoughts on LaJoy? So LaJoy is interesting down low because not a lot of people are going to play him because you have Ty Dillon there, you have Harrison Burton, you have Todd Gilliland as your place differential plays. But Corey LaJoy is kind of interesting because he was a lot faster than them in practice. And if you're looking at Dover, he finished 18th there earlier in the season. I know he's had some really bad finishes at 36th, 35th, and 35th recently, and some other similar tracks, but I can definitely get behind some Corey LaJoy as far as like maybe 8 to 10% on him, just to try to get different from all those people that are going to pump with Gilliland, Burton, and Ty Dillon. John says, curious why you're not a fan of McDowell in cash. He's been very consistent lately. Would you play Haley over him? It's just because in cash games, I'm just trying to get some more place differential with my pump plays because, yes, he has been consistent, and I'm still playing some McDowell today. But in cash games, I just want the floor because if McDowell is an issue, let's say he finishes around 26. Well, say Todd Gilliland just kind of cruises to a 27th. I'd rather have Todd Gilliland in that scenario. So I'm just trying to mitigate my risk for the most part. I think McDowell's a better tournament play. As far as Haley is concerned, I do like Haley a little bit more than McDowell. Does project a little bit better for me. And if we're looking at practice times, I can pull it up here. So Haley was 18th in the 5 lap and 14th in the 10. McDowell was sitting at 23rd and 18th. And also at some similar tracks this year for Justin Haley, 14th at Gateway, and then he finished 11th at Dover, which are some better marks than Michael McDowell as well. That's kind of the reasoning behind it. I'm not saying they're too different of plays, but if it's cash games, I'm just trying to get the safer floor there. That makes sense. Andre says marriage or connections. Oh dear. Jim says, Chris, what kind of dog is that you have? I'm not really sure. That's a better question for her. I think it's like a mini Aussie Doodle or something. Something like that. Not 100% sure. Let's see. Big Gooder says, what makes Larson optimal today or tomorrow? Well, he's got to get up front and lead a lot of laps, that's for sure. If he does not get up front today, he will not be optimal. I mean, starting in third, like at that price point, and you have Kyle Busch with massive PD upside and other guys with more PD. Larson 100% has to get up front, get a good chunk of this race, and he's got to finish pretty much top 5. That's what he's going to have to do today. So if you think he's going to do that, I'd recommend playing him. If you don't think he's going to lead enough laps to be optimal over guys like Elliott, Chastain, Hamlin, Truricks, I would not recommend being too heavy on Larson. He's not a fade for me, but if you're going to be slightly underweight or even to the field, I'm fine with that. Anthony says, be honest, did you stage your background or is that your hideaway? What do you mean by stage my background? If you mean if it's a green screen, it's real. But I put some stuff on the wall, if that's what you mean. I'm reading some comments. Anyway, Bull just got here. Bull, you got to rewind a little bit. Like, what, 10 minutes? 5-10 minutes? I'd rewind a little bit. Anthony says, Gilland, Haley, or Jones and LaJoy? I'd have to take Jones there. I mean, there's just way more upside in the Jones round than there is with Gilland Haley combination there. Although I feel like you're leaving a lot of money on the table if you go Gilland Haley. If your 2v2 is Jones LaJoy. Rebecca says, I caught Bubba at plus 10,000. Yeah, plus 10,000 to win. Do we think he's a slim shot to win? If he didn't qualify so poorly, I would say that he's got some decent, I'd say that's some decent odds to win the race. Like, if he qualified anywhere in the top 10, I think there's a legit chance Bubba Wallace could sneak away with a win, but I think it's likely. No, it's not qualifying 30th. It kills the chances a bit. I would have felt a lot better if he qualified better, but he's got an uphill battle to win the race. Obviously, a great DFS play, but for winning the race, I'm rooting for it for you. It'd be awesome if Bubba won because I'll have a lot of him, but I don't think it's going to happen. But you got good odds on that because plus 10,000, I think it's what, like plus 4,000 now? So you did good on that. Nate says, no, Chris, you're a Browns fan? I am. I was born and raised in Northeast Ohio. You can't hold that against me. It's just what happens when you're born there. You're a Browns fan. It's just law of the land. No way around it. It hasn't been fun most years, that's for sure. Dakota says, hey, Chris, it's going to be hard to pass, but it'd be smart to play guys closer to the front. Whenever they say it's harder to pass, yes, it can be hard to pass, but if a driver's faster than the other guys in the back, maybe it takes them a little bit longer than normal, but they're going to pass those guys. Like Gateway, they all said it was going to be hard to pass, in which, yes, in a sense it was, but we saw Blaney, a super fast car. He didn't necessarily go to the rear multiple times, but he got pushed back several times, but he's able to pass guys, so I'm never going to be too concerned about that. Like Kyle Busch, like you're not going to see Kyle Busch stuck in P27 today, just all day. He's going to be able to move up. At least I hope. Robert says, Bubba, Rowdy, Burton, Chastain, Elliott, Haley for tourneys. So up top you have Busch and Chastain and Elliott, like that. Then Bubba, love it. Burton, yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I think it's fun, Robert. No problem with that at all. Man, Shady says, what channel is the race on? I'm not even going to say that. I'm going to pass on your question, Shady. I know what you're doing. Longtime member of the Discord, also longtime winner of winning a lot of money in DFS as well. T-Max says, what you think about Logano in cash today? I would not do that in cash. He's going to be just about unowned in cash, and if something goes wrong with Logano today, you're going to be hurting. I would not go Joey in cash today. Tournaments, if you want to get off some Hamlin, sure, go for it, but don't play Joey in cash. Dude says, what's up, race fans? What's up, Dude? Nice for you to make it. Appreciate it. Appreciate you stopping by. Josh says, what's up, Chris? What's up, Josh? Blew a brake line in my truck. That's not good. It's not good at all. Fixing that and listening to stream. Thanks and good luck today. Hopefully you get it fixed soon. I have no idea how long that would take to get fixed, but hopefully it's not too long. And yeah, best of luck today or tomorrow, whenever the race is. I hope they just call the race early. I wouldn't mind going to do something today. Go in the pool or something. TN Guru or Tennessee Guru says, somebody help me with a FanDuel lineup. A FanDuel lineup. Well, I can pull up some lineups I got over there. Just projection wise, I still gotta. Tennessee Guru says, Chris, help me with FanDuel. I will. Well, second. All right, so I have. So I got a lot of Kyle Busch on FanDuel, a lot of Ross Chastain, a A lot of Bubba Wallace, a lot of Jones. I've seen a good amount of Christopher Bell pop up as well. So there's an idea. Where are we at? Austin says Shady, yeah. Shady's trying to do things. See if he cracks a laugh. What's up, Rick? Nate says, I was meaning no jumping on the Bucks train. Also, oh, I see what you mean. No, Bucks are just the honorary home team. If they're doing good, I'll be a bandwagon fan. If they're not doing good, I'll just act like I never liked them. So that'll be my luxury of living close to Tampa. But yes, always a Browns fan first and foremost. That is never going to change. I see Bull finally found out. He says, I'm going to need you in my office after live. We still have to have your office meeting with me from last time. Bull and me in chat. Sharp Schultz says, hey CP, how's it hanging? Long time. Yeah, what's up, Sharp Schultz? Missed you. Hopefully you're doing well. But I think I finally caught up to chat. We have about 4 hours until lock. Could end up being like 24 hours until lock. I'm not totally sure what's going to happen. I feel like we're going to end up getting postponed. That's my best guess today, looking at the radar. Could it be wrong? Sure. If it is, blame the weather people, not me. I'm just looking at Google. But if there's no other questions, I'll get out of here. I wish you all the best of luck. Should be a fun one. And I'll see you all next week. I don't remember what's happening next week, but whenever it is, I will see you then. But appreciate you stopping by. And leave a like on your way out. Would appreciate it.